My friends, do yourself a favor. Do not assume that The Wild Robot is for children. It is not just for children. This movie is transcendent. This is a movie for everyone. It's a movie with themes, ideas, and stories that everyone of any age can enjoy. This is probably the best animated movie that I've seen in a decade, maybe longer. Strangely enough, this is the second high-quality movie starring robots that I've seen in 2 weeks, and that's just awesome. The Wild Robot is a 2024 animated science fiction movie from Chris Saunders, the man who gifted us with such films as How to Train Your Dragon, Lilo and Stitch, and The Croods, which I loved. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't like it, but that's because they're basic and they have the taste of a toddler. The Croods was awesome, and quite frankly, you just didn't deserve it. That sequel, though. Ugh. In The Wild Robot, we follow a robot, I know, big shock, who wakes up on the beach of a deserted island populated by nothing but animals. Aimless and lacking a master, it wanders around looking for tasks to do until it comes across a newborn baby gosling who is without a mother for, some reason. This begins a long journey where the robot cares for the orphan bird and through time becomes more than it was programmed to be. The robot questions not just the strange emotions of the organic filth around her, but her own motivations as well, and the strange awakening that is happening inside her. In here. I don't know, in her battery, I guess? Listen, quite frankly, The Wild Robot is not just a movie. And I know this is going to sound hyperbolic, but it's an experience. It's an experience that fills your cold, dead, cynical heart with warmth and love and goodness, like the feeling of drinking hot chocolate with marshmallows on a cold morning, and it leaves you believing in the power of kindness and connection. From its breathtaking animation to its profound message of community, this film delivers what I can only describe as a truly sincere story. There was care put into this, and not just the care to make something that just looks pretty or is slick, not that kind of care, but care enough to make this film matter on an emotional level. The makers of this movie wanted it to matter, and by God, it matters. It does matter. Something else that matters, the animation. It's nothing short of stunning. Every frame feels like a moving painting, bringing the island and its wild, goofy inhabitants to life in vibrant, detailed beauty. Doesn't matter whether it's the sweeping landscapes, the delicate details of the animals, or Roz herself, who is created and captured with such care and precision that you can't help but be mesmerized by her and the world that the filmmakers have created. This beautiful blend of nature and technology in the visuals is seamless, making the island feel as real as any natural sanctuary, while Roz, even though she should stand out in all of her metallic charm, strangely becomes more and more natural as the film goes on. Her flawless finish becoming scratched and smudged, moss growing on her metallic shell. She evolves on the outside as well as on the inside, and that's storytelling genius right there. God, I love this movie. Obviously, this animation was inspired by Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which basically took the Shrek animation and boom, upscaled it quite a bit. But oh, by the way, Puss in Boots was also an absolutely amazing movie. If you haven't seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, what are you doing here? That's a movie you should be watching. DreamWorks, the studio's been on fire the last few years, and I for one, I'm enjoying the heck out of it. At the heart of The Wild Robot is a message that transcends age. It transcends everything. It's just that kindness and empathy and the strength of community can overcome even the most daunting challenges, even when those challenges are the limits of our own design or, you know, an army of killer robots. But mostly it's the challenges within ourselves. Watching Roz learn from and eventually unite the island's animals, I have no other word for it. It's just inspiring. Her journey from an outsider to a beloved member of the island's ecosystem highlights the beauty of understanding and cooperation. And it's actually really well done that her journey mirrors that of the gosling that she finds, because it goes through a similar journey as well. And just to see them going on this parallel course was great. I have a cat chewing on my shoe. Stop that. See, this is why I'm basically Roz, because I find runts and care for them too. And I'm also a big chump. And I'm also emotionless and don't have a heart. And occasionally I transform into a ball. But that's just to escape, life. In a world that far too often feels divided, this film is a refreshing and timely reminder that no matter how different we are, we can always find common ground. I really want to say something sarcastic and jokey here, but I mean every word I say. I don't want to cheapen the impact of this movie. This movie is something special. It is, as I said, transcendent. If you're someone who doesn't like science fiction, you're going to love The Wild Robot. If you're someone who hates animation, you're going to love The Wild Robot. If the idea of talking cartoon animals gets up your craw, you're still going to love The Wild Robot. It's just a movie that I can find no other words to say about it other than it's just good. This is a good movie. It is a movie crafted with care, it's crafted with heart, and it has a piece of the soul of everyone who is involved in the creation of it. And I mean, because they cared a lot about it. I don't mean it was a Needful Things kind of thing where it's stealing a part of their soul and putting it into the movie, which would be a good horror movie. We should look into that. This movie, however, is art. And I would really feel guilty about cracking jokes about it and making it seem lesser than what it is, even though I've been doing that. What is wrong with me? The vocal performances are impeccable. Every actor, from the animals to Roz herself, brings an emotional depth to the characters that makes them feel fully realized. Roz is calm, curious, I would almost say capitalistic voice, juxtaposes perfectly with the liveliness of the animals around her. Special mention has to go to the voice, played by Lupita Nyong'o, whose subtle warmth and humor, even before she begins her journey, just kind of brings a depth to the character that elevates her from a mere machine to a figure that we root and love for. Or we love and root for. I'm trying to do all this in one take because it's really late, and now I'm starting to lose my mind. Enjoy the ride. I especially love the way that Nyong'o manages to slowly go from this soulless, commercialized automaton to basically a mother throughout the entire film. It is a seamless transition, and there's really no point where you can look at the story and say, okay, this is where the flip was switched. I did it again. The switch was flipped. It's so beautifully subtle that you almost don't even realize it's happening. Pedro Pascal is a fox. He's also in this movie. In the end, The Wild Robot is a heartwarming, visually gorgeous work of art that champions the values of kindness, empathy, and community. It's a story for all ages, one that will make you laugh, it'll make you cry, it'll make you reflect on the importance of taking care of each other and just being good. That's it. That's its only agenda. The message of, hey, what if we stop being jerks to each other for 5 minutes and see where that takes us? This is a film with heart, a beautiful message, and a world so beautiful that you honestly just don't want to leave. As a lover of film, science fiction, animation, and yes, even annoying talking animals, I'm giving this movie my strongest recommendation. The story is something new and unfamiliar. The spirit behind the story really connects with you on an emotional level. The animation is gorgeous. It almost feels like you could see brushstrokes as though some of the scenes are moving museum pieces. Guys, The Wild Robot is phenomenal. It's a gorgeous, emotional movie that hits harder than it really needed to, and I'm glad it did. Go see this film. Even if you don't like animation, go see this film. And honestly, if you don't like animation, check and make sure you got a soul, because there is something seriously wrong with you, because animation is just neat. Do you want to know what else is neat? Becoming a Patreon of this channel, or becoming a channel member. For only $5 a month or more, you can support me and this channel and all of the programming that I struggle to bring you week after week. Shows like Jason Watches, Saturday and His Amazing Friends, Will It Tumble, The VHS Vault, The Power of J Skull, Double XL Men, Jalapena, and Breaking Wind, plus that mystery project that I keep teasing you about that I super duper super promise is coming soon. Or later. But it is coming. Maybe. Probably. I hope. Support us on Patreon or become a channel member and it'll get here a lot faster. Really? You know what? If you don't believe me, try me. Become a Patreon. Become a channel member. We'll see who has the last laugh. You can get information about that in the video description below. What a truly great movie. You know, before I leave, I just want to say one more time, this has been my favorite movie of 2024. No joke, or as the children say, no cap. That's terrible. I'm never going to say that again. Anyway, The Wild Robot. Go see it, like now. This film needs to be supported, because if you don't support it, you don't need to complain about all the garbage that comes to theaters. I mean, seriously, it's as simple as that. Don't let this flop like you let the Iron Giant flop. That one still hurts. Look at these videos. They're great. You should watch them right after you watch The Wild Robot and The Iron Giant, because The Iron Giant is amazing.